Good day to you all. Steve Wiss here, and I'm joined as ever by Ashley Waite for some more World Cup previews. We're going to be looking at France against Poland and England against Senegal for the Sunday's matches in Qatar. Let's start though with a brief Saturday recap. Ashley, we didn't have any action in the Netherlands against USA from the show anyway. I must congratulate you for your double that you had on Patreon. That was a very good call. Anyone out there who actually did back themselves to take the Netherlands, it was an excellent call. I forgot just how poor or average the USA are. And then in the Argentina game, both our goal scorers, we nailed those with Messi and Alvarez. But the handicap for me was let down by the late goal by Australia. The corners, there's some weird shit going on there. So fundamentally, I've not done the full stats. We're slightly down the day, but not by much. Just a frustration. It kind of sums up this World Cup. It gives and it takes.
Right. And I thought I made the smart play. I know a lot of people were on Argentina -1.5, which obviously should have hit, but should have, could have, would have really doesn't fit anywhere into this World Cup so far. So I waited live, and within like 7 or 8 minutes, it dropped down to a -1.25. So I played that live and felt pretty good about it when Argentina got their second. But I don't know. I was watching the match, and I mean, kudos to Australia for playing hard. But even after they scored, that handicap should have been good because like they subbed on Martinez for some reason. I guess rest purposes, right? But I mean, we both loved Alvarez taking his spot, which is why I took him to score. So yeah, took him to score, took Messi to score. That hit, which you would think would be harder to hit than a handicap. And Messi is just feeding the ball into Martinez in the box right in front of goal with shots that you and I would probably have, a 50-50 chance of making. And that guy just can't make shit. I placed a bet on him at decent plus money before the tournament to score 3 goals, like over 2.5 from Martinez. And they should have had a couple in their first match. He's always offsides. And this one, I just don't know if he's just a blind motherfucker. I don't know if he can't, I don't know what's wrong with him. I just know that I can't stand the guy. He's just a streaky player. Can't stand him as a player. Maybe a fantastic human being, but I don't care what he is because I don't know him personally. I just know that when he steps on that pitch, I'm like, oh, fucking here we go. You leave Alvarez in there and those crosses that Messi gets in him, he buries them and we hit that handicap with ease. So yeah, that was very frustrating. And I'll address one more thing about that match. I'm not a corners better. I'm not a cards better or anything. I've been trying to branch out a little bit. So when I had that show play yesterday for Argentina to score at least twice, and then over 5.5 corners, I saw so many cappers that I respect, and trust, and they're like taking them, laddering it, take them over 6.5 corners, take them over 7.5 corners team total. So I was like, okay, I'm feeling decent about, this 5.5 corners, even though corners never go well for me. This is probably the 3rd or 4th time I bet them. And Argentina, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, ends the match with 1 fucking corner, which is almost unheard of. So yeah, if I don't think I ever will give a pick that involves corners on here anymore. But if I ever do, bet the exact opposite of it, because corners I can't figure them out. They never go well for me. All these fantastic cappers are all over Argentina corners, and I'm sitting there looking like they got 1 corner. So
well, after the outright tournament pick on corners that I gave out on several different shows, I think I'm going to have to be sacked from any corner bets as well. Actually, one thing I've learned from folk really keeping my eye on the corners in this tournament is how random they are and how terrible the officials are at actually making the right calls for corners. Like some shocking decisions both ways, by the way. So there's something weird going on with corners at this World Cup. There's a real lack of them, and teams are so much playing inside still. I thought it had gone the other way, but the amount of teams that are just focusing on passing inside is insane. So I think that's a big thing to do with the corners. And yeah, I mean that was a frustrating game because that match is going to end 2-0 or 3-0 if Australia don't get that fluky goal,
Yeah, oh,
because
yeah.
they'd accepted they were going to lose 2 or 3-0,
Right.
and I think Argentina would have won. The frustration then is that they should have got the third goal. So Martinez, I think his confidence has gone after the VAR goal that he should have had. I
Yeah.
think his confidence is just shot, and he doesn't look like he can score anything right now, and that might cost them. Like, I didn't think Argentina played that well, and I would have, if it had ended 2-0, I probably would have said, okay, I was maybe a little bit lucky on the handicap, because they didn't do the first half. They had one chance and they just scored one goal. I mean, you
Yeah.
could say, okay, that's clinical, but they didn't. They did just enough to get through, and I don't know if Messi wasn't around in that team. I think they're just bang average at the moment, Argentina. So yeah,
Yeah,
disappointed
and
with them.
I think Alvarez is really good too. I think he and Messi both, but yeah, it's still we are at this point after having watched them today and still kind of don't quite know what to make of them. I'm still glad that I have the future on them. I think when they put it together, they can play well. But right, they shouldn't have conceded to Australia. Uh, I mean, props to them. They won the match and they move on, and I am
Mm.
glad about that. But yeah, from a betting perspective, that's very, very annoying. And how I hit two goal scorers, I took Argentina to score in the first half. Just so many good plays that I made and ended up, down 1.3 units because that fucking idiot can't put a ball in the net from 2 yards in front of it. So. Yeah, who cares? I had Netherlands. I didn't play them individually. Unfortunately, I let too many people scare me off of them, that whole flu question. And then other people were like making me feel like the US could beat Netherlands. And I thought maybe I'm on drugs or something. I don't see it. And I should have stuck with my own, instincts on that one. But I did have them draw no bet. And then as long as France wins tomorrow, then me, and my Patreon members, where my Patreon members and I will win a 2 unit play. So,
I think
make up
I
the losses from today.
I think I was the one under the influence with the USA. Thankfully, I wasn't stupid enough to back them in any form. But I truly believe that they would make a better go of it than they did. They were out tactics completely. I'm not sure about the Netherlands either. To be honest, they have their moments, but I mean, Argentina and Netherlands is a very interesting game. We will certainly look forward to that, and we're going to look forward to matches on Sunday here. We're going to start with France against Poland. All of our picks today are in this game. We're going to talk about England, Senegal, but all our selections are in this game. And I think it's fair to say that we need France to do several things for us in this match, but we are
Yeah.
very, very confident in them. Where on earth are we going to start here, Ashley? We've got so many selections. Let's just start off by let's hear your opinion about the game, how you think it's going to go overall.
Well, all of my eggs for tomorrow are in the France basket. So, yeah, I'm hoping that they start strong. That's going to be very important for me, as you guys will see of one of my picks. This Poland team, I think they've kind of just limped into, the kind of lucked out to be here. It's definitely not from any spectacular play. It's just been from a lot of these crazy results in the group stages. So yeah, I think Poland, they're just not creating anything. I was reading today. I can't remember the average shots on target, but it's super low, and the number of shots that they're conceding, from inside the box is, I think it's been over like 50 something. So yeah, I don't really see Poland creating much. I was a little somewhat skeptical of France. I didn't think poorly of them coming in, but I didn't really know what to expect, right? Benzema's out. Just really didn't know the form that they would be in. But I'll tell you right now, even over Argentina, I'm still glad I have a future on Argentina, but I have been more impressed with France than any other team in this tournament up to this point. So I'm expecting a strong performance here. And that'll, so with my first bet, I don't know if you're ready to lead into
Yeah,
that.
I'm ready. Yeah.
So yeah, I think they do start strong, and I think Poland are just outclassed here. Poland have one of the top strikers in the world, but he just scored his first World Cup goal. So I don't, shut down Lewandowski. What do they have left? Zelensky or something? I just don't see them doing anything. So I'm going to count on France coming out here with their far superior firepower and netting early. And yeah, so I'm going to take them just to win the first half at minus 120 for a unit. Now, you guys, so the reason I took minus 0.5 is because that was minus 120. And on my book, the money line first half is minus 135. It's the exact same bet. A lot of books will just count on you not knowing that, and people just will look at the money line and fire away at that. So whichever is cheaper for you, the minus 0.5 or the money line, take that. It's the exact same thing. So I'm taking the handicap here, minus 120, and just saying that France are up at halftime.
Yeah, you do like a good first half play, don't you, Ashley? Whether it be goals or money lines or handicaps. And I will absolutely leave you to your first half selections. I think you're brilliant at them. So France to win the first half, basically here minus 124, a full unit. My selection for the game, main selection for the game, is France on a minus 1.25 Asian handicap over 90 minutes, and it's just I think they're going to be. I think this is probably the best bet of the whole round of 16. I really do. I think there's night and day between these teams. Poland, they're just not very good. They haven't played very well. They've really relied on their goalkeeper to get to this stage. Chesney, I think, has been he's the Golden Glove winner right now.
Yeah, he's not fantastic.
He won't win the Golden Glove because I don't think they're going to get much further. But he saved 2 penalties, so fair play to him there. But you can't keep relying on your goalkeeper to bail you out all the time, can you? And I think at very worst, France win the game in regulation. We've seen today, look at the Argentina match, handicaps can be a little bit of a risky play. And I have a bad record taking large handicaps in football, as today showed. Unders and large handicaps, they're just two things that don't work with me, Ashley. But minus 1.25s and below, this is my sort of area. I would always rather take this line than a minus 1.5 at bigger odds, because it gives you that safety net. If there is a 1-goal win, you're only going to lose half your stake. So I just think overall they're just a better team. I don't really see Poland scoring. Lewandowski is often an isolated figure for Poland in the national team. He only had 3 touches in one match in the Mexico game. So you got to respect Lewandowski. He will get a chance, and I don't fully trust this French defense. But I think even if they do concede a goal, there's enough goals that they can get 3 or 4. So minus 1.25 Asian handicap for me over 90 minutes. That's my first bet of the game. Let's move on to your second.
I love your pick there, and I'm going to be tailing that. So I'll give you a shout because I'm actually going to post that one on Patreon too. I was debating looking at ways to play their team total, so, because I already have the money line in a double to close out tomorrow. But yeah, I love that one too. And I'm like you, I rarely take a handicap that's over a -1. I rarely bet sides, period. But if I do, yeah, -1's typically as high as I'll go because I always like the option of being able to push, right? But that's why, it does make a difference in the 1.25 and the 1.5, because just like today, playing half a unit live on Argentina, waiting for it to drop to -1.25, then I only end up losing a quarter of a unit, versus half a unit. So it really does make a big difference if, you stick to this style in the long run, the 1.25 and the 1.5, if you play those strategically, you will save yourself money.
I really like a minus 1.25 Asian handicap or a -1 Asian handicap. I hate one of my old betting mentors, a professional, used to say -1.5 line is just avoid it. Honestly, it makes you. It's all or nothing. You either win or you lose. There's nothing in between. I'm a bit like you, Ashley. I like a good push. I like a half loss when I can, and I get nervous when I'm in the all or nothing boat. So
yeah, like I was the other day on who was it that I took -1? Netherlands, right? -1.5.
Yeah.
And I've never been so nervous in my life. They're up 2-0, and I'm just like, yeah, just it. I can't handle the nerves of it's like it seems so much. It sounds easier than it is, but winning by 2 clear goals, it's not that easy to do. So yeah, I do love this play though. I do think that France cover the -1.5, but I would rather lay the -125 here. I like your pick much better than the -1.5, even though I do think if you take the 1.5, based on everything we've seen so far in this World Cup, France should be able to handle this team.
Hannah Waite says, "Come on, France." Indeed, Hannah, allez les bleus. And Righty has described Robert Lewandowski interview, in which sounds like he's been quite negative. That doesn't surprise me. I think he gets very frustrated in this Polish team because he's just stand out the best player, isn't he, by a long way. So
Yeah.
let's go to your second pick of the game, Ashley. This is a half unit selection. The France team total over 2.5 goals at juicy odds here, plus 160.
Right. This one is just strictly, well, obviously, I think it has a great chance to hit, or I wouldn't play it. I don't put money on anything that I don't think has a decent shot, but I also do love the value here. And you guys are learning, I love my shots at value, which is why I take scorers a lot and things like that. You know, I, I'm like I said, I was interested in putting France's team total over 1.5 in a double with something, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, for half a unit at the price here with the firepower that France have, yeah, I think Mbappe could possibly score 2 on his own. They have other people more than capable of scoring, so I just think for the price and for the fact of that, France come out start strong here is what I think. I could see him being up 1 or possibly 2, at halftime. So then we just need them to snag 1 more. Now the question mark is if they're up 2-0, are they going to just park the bus or, are they going to go for it? But yet again, for the millionth time, I'm going to mention this the selfish asshole factor here and say that Mbappe alone will try to get as many as he can. So I just think these are teams on 2 different levels. I think Lewandowski is really all Poland has to offer. So I'm not scared of that. This France offense to me is impressive. If they don't score 3, I'm still fine with this play here based on what I've seen them do so far in this tournament. I think they absolutely have the ability to put up 3 goals here. And then it doesn't matter what Poland does.
Sean says he likes France half-time, full-time in this game. It's interesting. Off air, you were saying that you like that as well, Ashley. And Righty, Mbappe's averaging a shot every 13 minutes in the tournament so far. We're going to talk about Mbappe in a minute. You like that half-time, full-time, though, Ashley, don't you? Obviously, you've took France half-time, haven't you? So
yeah, Sean, I think that's a great look. Sean's an awesome Irish dude too, by the way. Little side note, but yeah. So we were discussing that one before the show, and I started to go with that one also. And the reason I didn't is because I took France to win the first half. So, I didn't want to take them also halftime, full time, just in case they're not up at the half. I didn't want to bust 2 bets with 1 play. But I absolutely love halftime, full time. And last time I looked at -125, I think that's a fantastic price too.
All right. Well, we're going to go on to our goal scorer now, Ashley. It's a combined play from both of us here. And it is no surprise to be Kylian Mbappe, anytime scorer, for 1.5 units here. We both really love him in this game. I mean, I almost feel embarrassed. It's so obvious again, just like Messi yesterday. But what can you do? One thing I will say, though, is the price. I've looked around a lot of books. Plus 110 you can get in places, even money in a lot of places. I think that's just way too high for probably the best player in the world at this tournament. This should be -130, -140, surely. I think it's the price is unbelievable.
Yeah, I would say -140 at best. So I don't know why we're getting it at plus money, but like you said, it is the obvious play. But who gives a shit? I don't care about square sharp or anything about that. I care about winning plays. Took Messi today. Everyone in the world probably on him, but I don't care. I'm mad for not playing him bigger. Just should have put more than like a half a unit or whatever on him. So that was ridiculous. But I think Mbappe scores here. I'm going to sprinkle him to score twice. I'm not going to do anything crazy with it, but if the same gets feisty, right, we know he's going to be the one to take the penalty. Some of those big dudes from Poland, if France starts whipping that ass, they might get irritated and start, you know, digging their spikes into some players. So, yeah, I think he scores us at least one. And like I said, it's the long game in sports betting anyway. So, if you're getting Mbappe on a fantastic team with a plus money, it's the right play. It's not going to hit every time, but he's going to score more times than he doesn't. So, if you have a chance to get him at plus money and you don't take it, I think that's the wrong move. So, I'm absolutely taking him. I'm all 100% on board with this one.
Yeah, even Bet365 over here got done with their bet boost on Messi to score any time. They finally got done in this tournament. They've been so lucky on several occasions, but they dangled that carrot once too often in this one. I don't think they're going to be offering Mbappe on a bet boost. It's funny, we talk about his selfishness, and it's the one time he seems a little bit more of a team player when he's with the French national team. I don't know what it is. Didier Deschamps, I think, works miracles at times to just accommodate him and make him feel so comfortable within this team. And he's still very much selfish, but he does play a little bit more for the team when he's with France. So it just seems to work really well. And he's kind of one of the reasons I'm going to take this final bet of the day. This is a card bet for me on Matty Cash to pick up a card, any card, at plus 370 for a quarter of a unit. Now, Cash is playing right back for Poland. Or should we call him Matty Kashki, actually, now that he's Polish? And he's going to be matched up with Mbappe. He's also got a massive problem with Theo Hernandez, Theo Hernandez is a very attacking-minded left back. He's almost a left wing back for France. So they are so strong on the left-hand side here. And Cash is going to need a lot of help from his teammates. He's already on a yellow card in this tournament, but he won't be thinking about that because they're a massive underdog in a match they're not expected to get any sort of result in. So I don't think there's a good chance that he's going to be exposed at some point. Even if he doesn't want to be carded, he's going to mistime something. If he can get close enough to Mbappe, of course, a lot of people can't. Plus 370, that'll do. Need to be carded. Be careful in this market because a couple of people have been contacting me about some books are offering just to be booked and to be sent off. This is to get a card. So if it was a direct red, you would still win. And I think that's the best market to be on. I would hate it if the card that you got picked up was a red and you were only on a yellow. So be careful when you're taking this. But a quarter of a unit. Both referees, by the way, today have only given 2 yellow cards in 3 matches between them at this tournament so far. So both referees are pretty lenient. The referee for this game is the same one who did England against USA, and there wasn't a single card, although both were tame as teddy bears and didn't give him a chance to even look at him. I think Poland will be a bit different. So this is a situational one, the matchup I like. So that is my quarter of a unit playing the game. And I think I'm going to go with 3-0 France as my predicted full-time score. What about you, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same. I'm hoping to God they put up 3, but I'll say 3-0, 4-1. I hope France goes crazy. I do want to say though, like Jack Righty is exactly right here. There's no such thing as boring money, right? I mean, if it's a winning bet, like, hey, everyone and their grandpappy was on Messi today. Who cares? Everyone and their grandpappy made money. So yeah, that's exactly right. Making money is never boring.
Absolutely right indeed. And Hannah is there, plus 600 to score 2 plus for Mbappe. That looks a juicy price because he's just in great form.
Sprinkle it. And like Sean, that's a really fun. It is. That's perfect word for that one. Mbappe to score in the first 10 minutes, is like I said, I expect them to come out fast. So they probably have a little set play already to try to dump the ball over the top to him early. So Yeah, at those odds. I know 10 is high, but I don't only know American odds, so someone else would have to tell me what that is plus what. But yeah, Mbappe to score in the first 10 minutes would be a fun little sprinkle there.
Brilliant. Okay, so yeah, we've got plenty of eggs in that France basket. Hopefully, they deliver. Let's talk about the late game, England against Senegal. We don't have any selections in this one. Ashley, I'll start us off because I've been bitten far too many times by England games in this tournament. This show would be well over 10 units in profit if it wasn't for England games. And the way I see it, the lesson to learn from England is if you think they're going to do quite well and cruise, inevitably they don't. And vice versa, if you think they're going to have a tough game, they actually often deliver better than you expect. And my prediction is England should comfortably win in 90 minutes. Not massively, but something like 2-0. So I did look at the -1 Asian handicap for England, but there's no way I could stomach losing more money on England in this tournament, especially as, I mean, the last time they're in the World Cup, they needed penalties to get past Colombia. So, can they be trusted? I'm not sure. They should do it, really, but it just from a betting perspective, they're just not really much appeal with England matches right now for me.
No, not for you, not for me, and not for this show. I think England, we've done well, but England single-handedly, I think, have cost us like 6 units on this.
They have.
So I don't trust them for anything. And also, I misread. So, Sean saying combining Mbappe to score and then Matty Cash card, at odds of 10. Those are great odds. That it just comes down to that. With the way that this World Cup has gone, Senegal to score at plus money, but they're big, tough guys that are going to go for it. But when England plays really well, they're going to play possession based, and they're tough to break down. So I could see why it's plus money for Senegal to score. I'm not going to touch it. You would think at some point. You're getting Harry Kane for plus money, but my God, I mean, he hasn't played horribly, don't get me wrong, because he's been assisting, and that is a very important part of the game. But just scoring himself, you'd think, should I take a flyer on him at plus money? He hasn't scored yet. Surely he scores at some point in this World Cup, but I don't know. I don't trust England because of you. I'll be pulling for them. If it weren't for you, I would be hoping that, Senegal would spring the upset here, but they'll get none of my money in any form or fashion.
Well, I really hope we see England against France in the quarterfinals. I think that would be a World Cup game for the ages, the sort of match that everyone wants to see. And in terms of value for this game, I don't think there's value on either team. I think the books have set this Asian handicap line spot on. -1 Asian handicap, around even money. That looks about right to me. And England by 1 goal definitely has every chance of happening because Gareth Southgate has a way of making life difficult for himself in matches like this one, where England really should win fairly comfortably. But they often, as I say, find ways to, if they get ahead in the game, 20 minutes to go, England will be just holding deep and trying to stay on that advantage. And I hate that negativity. It cost them before many times. And Senegal have nothing to lose here, but they do have a big suspension with Gay is suspended in midfield. And I think England are going to boss that area of the field, and that could be crucial towards the full-time score in this match. In terms of props and stuff, probably if you want a little bit of value, maybe Marcus Rashford to score any time at decent. I think he's like plus 250. He's one of those streaky players. When he finds some form, his confidence is up. Is he even going to start, though? Check the lineups, because Southgate, you can guarantee that once those lineups come out, there's going to be a lot of discontent with it because he has a habit of doing this, starting players who shouldn't be starting. I mean, imagine if someone like Mason Mount's in the 11, half of England's going to be in uproar, or more than half of England's going to be in uproar. So let's wait and see with this game. Betting wise, it just doesn't appeal to me, Ashley. So final thoughts on it?
I was actually thinking about what Hannah just typed, because she knows I like those correct score groups. So I think you're right. I think that as typically is with England's national team or with England Premier League, The books are just all over those, and generally have the lines wrapped pretty tight. So if kind of, the story that the books are telling is that England get a 1-goal win here. So, take your book and have at decent plus money England to win by exactly 1 goal, probably worth a sprinkle, or taking the correct score group that I know they offer on Bovada. And it should be, I would assume, around plus 150-ish. Okay, plus 135 for this. So England to win 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1. So that covers you, in case Senegal do happen to score. I think that's worth a look. I don't see England blowing the doors off of this team, but you never know. And Ryan, yeah, I think that's not a bad look either. Senegal plus 2.5. France. I love the France team total part, because I'm looking for something. I'll definitely be putting that. Senegal, yeah, I could see him hanging. I could see like a 2-0, possibly even a 2-1 type match. But yeah, don't take anything I say about this England match to the bank, because I'm not touching it with my money. I'm not having my patrons bet it. So yeah, I just, it's just a hard pass for me.
Sean has an interesting play there. England draw half time and England full time at plus 300. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad pick, to be honest, Sean. And yeah, the whole of the world's going to be cheering on Senegal apart from England tomorrow. So
he's Irish, so he's pulling against.
That doesn't surprise me. I honestly think it'd be good to see England France as a neutral. Surely, though, I would. And Gareth Southgate absolutely gets schooled by Deschamps, probably. So let's see. The correct score group's an interesting one as well. And it's a difficult game. I don't think England will blow them out the water. Difficult contest to bet on pre-game. The referee is from El Salvador. Like I said, he's done 2 matches in this tournament already, and he's only dished out 2 cards. So or 1 match, something like that. Anyway, basically both refs on show today are not going to be looking into their book, but it's the last 16 of the World Cup, so anything can happen. Well, I appreciate your thoughts as ever, Ashley. Hopefully we can absolutely nail that France game. Well, there's still 4 more matches left the round of 16, so we're going to be back the next 2 nights as well, or days as it is where you are. Thanks very much for anyone who's tuned in. Do appreciate your comments. Hope you're enjoying the shows. Do hit that like button and the subscribe button on YouTube if you're not already. And take care, y'all. Have a great day. Whatever you're betting on in the World Cup or anywhere in the world, sports or whatnot, then cash those winners.
Yes, we will see you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.